On today's first round KO, we have Tom in studio with us as he has a long rant about Kawhi Leonard. We also talked to him about Jabari on the Bulls. We all three of us give our best 5 players in the Eastern Conference for the NBA. And then we got some segments for you, Matt, about it. And one last thing. Let's get it. Shock the system. Welcome to the most must-hear WSEW sports podcast in history. Welcome to First Round KO. I am your host, KO, a.k.a. Howard J. Dingers, and I am joined always by Mr. Connor J. Moore. Connor, how the hell are you?
I am good. I learned that I need to stop watching as much House Hunters as I do on a weekend basis. It's getting bad.
That's
It's
awesome.
getting very bad.
So
yes, I mean, if you guys are looking for a house to buy, I can tell you exactly.
Does work well.
I was gonna say, if you guys need help talking about granite countertops and how they match with the kitchen, I think I got y'all at this rate.
And also joining me in studio today is returning guest, Mr. Tom Fuerst. How's
Hello,
it going, Tom?
I am here to talk about actual sports for once, and
Yay.
I'm so excited.
I'm sorry, what do you mean actual sports?
Oh,
Here we go.
not 2-word sports, not sports entertainment, but just sports.
Hashtag mad about it. Anyway, we do have some segments to get to, but we're going to get to those segments later because Tom has a lot to get off his chest, I've heard.
Dude. Like, a lot of time passed from when I asked you if I could talk about this, and some of the steam wore off. And then when I started taking my notes today...
Did it come back?
It kind of came back.
Awesome.
And I was like, this is ridiculous.
So the first thing we're going to talk about, the one that you requested to come on, the reason you wanted to come on, the whole Kawhi Leonard, DeMar DeRozan trade between the Spurs and the Raptors. Tom, what are your thoughts on this?
All right. This is going to be a long one. All right?
I'm ready.
So, to first start off, I think everyone needs to understand where I'm coming from with this, and that Kawhi Leonard is a piece of shit. All right. So, March 4th, 2017.
Oh, my God, he's got... Oh, okay.
He injures his ankle.
Back.
All right? He injures his ankle.
Zaza injures his ankle.
Okay, I landed on another
Pretty
person.
purposely.
It's that person.
Pretty purposefully.
Anyway, game 1
Zaza.
against the Warriors.
Which
hurts his ankle.
They were up by about 20.
Yeah.
He gets hurt. They lose that game.
Yep. Injures his ankle. All right?
Yep.
Done for the season. That's it.
Yep.
Everyone kind of comes to terms with it. It's postseason. Unfortunate things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Move to June 20th. All right?
Mm-hmm.
He's good to resume physical activity.
Later that year?
Yeah.
That's like a couple weeks after.
It's just an ankle, dude. He didn't break it.
I thought he did break it.
This is sprained.
Okay. Keep going.
Yeah. So, June 20th, resumes physical activity, which is cool. Spurs fans are like, awesome, let's go. It'll be great to go next season. September 30th. This is a very important one, all right? September 30th. He's out for the entire preseason because he injures his right quad. I'm going to butcher this word, but I'm sure as hell going to try. Tendinopathy. All right?
Sounds about right.
Strained it, whatever. I'm assuming it's similar to tendinitis, but just in your quads. October 18th, he misses the season opener for the Spurs. October 20th, a video comes out on Twitter of him struggling upstairs to his plane for the team travel, right? Okay, yeah, this is pretty legitimate. He's injured, right? October 25th, people are asking Pop, yo, what's up? Like, is this something to be concerned about? Pop said he's not worried. He'll come back when he's ready to come back. Doctors will say it. I'm not too worried about it. We have a team that we have to get going on, which is phenomenal. Excellent coaching. Don't focus on the bad. Focus on moving forward, getting some wins.
I mean, he is one of the best coaches, if not the best in the game. So
Exactly. November 8th. pops in another interview. Kawhi's okay. He's getting there, but he's not confident in himself anymore. He's losing some confidence. All right. November 28th. 20 days goes by. Tony Parker's like, he's really close, man. He's really close. He'll come back. December 12th. He comes back. And he scores 13 points.
Kawhi?
Yeah. He scores 13 points in 16 minutes.
I didn't know he came back.
9 games.
Okay.
13 points in 16 minutes. So it was like limited minutes. He's in there. Kind of scoring, it's fine. January 5th, he leaves the game.
Is this 18 now?
Yeah.
Current year?
Yep.
Okay.
Leaves the game because he has a partial tear in his left shoulder.
Okay.
That's what they told everyone. Now, this is where I think it gets fishy. Because, it's interesting. He leaves that game. January 13th, his final game, he gets 19 points, 4 assists, 4 steals, 8 rebounds. Kind of shows, he still has it. Everything's there. 4 days later, January 17th, he's out indefinitely because of his right quad again. I don't think his shoulder was actually injured.
No.
I think it was his quad, and he didn't want people to freak out. Boom.
Why would you jump from quad to shoulder? Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. But I just think that tear in your left shoulder is very fishy, or you're that injury prone. And I would rather be fishy than injury prone, especially in this league.
Oh, well, yeah.
So, he's out indefinitely, all right?
Yep.
5 days later, the rumors start how there's this huge rift between the San Antonio Spurs and Kawhi Leonard and his group. All right? His group. He leaves mid-February for a consultation on his injury in New York. And he downplays the rumors. He's like, nope, there's no rift or anything. Nothing's going on. Hopefully I'll be back by March.
Dramatic page flip.
Excellent audio for this audio-only, no visual podcast.
Yep.
February 21st, he's cleared. He's cleared. New York's like, you're good. He's cleared. Pop in an interview goes, you know what? I kind of doubt he'll be back right away. I'm not saying that he's going to be out for the rest of the season. I just think he's not going to make an instant comeback. He's going to ease into it.
Well, yeah. Ease into practice and then
Yep.
a couple games.
March 7th, he's like, yep, I'm going to return soon. There's no friction between the organization and myself. March 23rd, no Kawhi Leonard. Tony Parker takes to Twitter. Tony Parker says his quad injury from before the season started was 100 times worse than Kawhi's.
Mm-hmm.
But he trusted Spurs staff and medical staff and coaching, and he was 100% healthy and ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to go seek outside consultations or sources.
Right.
This is rumored to be the final straw between Kawhi's group
And
and
the
the
Spurs.
Spurs, which I'm kind of on Tony's side a little bit here, because if it's not an absolute tear, you can either play limited minutes or be upfront with coaching and everyone. Say you're not confident, you want to wait it out, you're sorry about it, but you'd rather be 100% healthy than not play.
The only thing I have to say about that is that he knew that his contract was up next season, and he was preparing himself for free agency, so he's probably keeping himself healthy for that. Tony Parker is not. Tony Parker is near the end of his career. Tony Parker could care less.
I see your point in that, and I'll get back to that in a second.
Okay.
I just want to know at what point during this entire timeline, because apparently this whole thing started when Kawhi and his uncles decided, his advisors are basically his uncles and everything. I just want to know where in the whole Kawhi Leonard soap opera timeline that they decided to take over and lead the charge and help out Kawhi steer his career. Because I'm pretty sure whenever that happened was when all this shit started to go haywire. I'm willing to bet good money
It's
that's what
almost
happened.
similar to a LeVar Ball to a Lonzo Ball.
Almost.
Lonzo's still on a team.
Yeah.
He still plays.
And Lonzo tries to
LeVar
block
kind
his
of went
dad
off
out.
to do his own thing with his other kids.
Right.
Ruining their lives.
Yes. Opinions, but yes. Facts.
I was opinions.
So late March, he leaves again to New York for rehabilitation and more consultations. Meanwhile, April 11th, Spurs get the 7th seed, make the playoffs, and it's kind of, is he going to come back for playoffs and help us in the playoffs? The fans are wondering, is he going to come back for playoffs? We don't have a lot of information, just a lot of fire going back and forth. April 15th, Pop says Kawhi and his group need to decide if Kawhi will return. Obvious tensions here. You can downplay it as much as you want. There's obvious tension between organization and Kawhi Leonard. Mm-hmm. June 15th on Twitter, I added this one because it was hilarious. But I also think it's very important of a turning point with the fans and the city of San Antonio to Kawhi Leonard. The San Antonio Zoo took to Twitter to say that they were giving away Kawhi's membership. It was like, lifetime membership to Zoo, gone. Oh. Giving it away. It's petty.
That's very petty.
But
interesting.
The only reason I kept it in here is because it just kind of, it's the symbol, right? Symbolism of the city's kind of done with you.
It just, yeah.
You need to figure this out. We're going to start turning on you. Then over the next week on ESPN, he's getting ripped on by former Spurs players, by other coaches and analyzers, just basically for being a shit. That's what it is. It's like, you need to figure it out. You're the star. You're the centerpiece of this team, this city, and you're not showing up. You're staying silent. You can't stay silent, basically, is what the argument is. You can't stay silent. You need to at least speak to the city so they don't turn on you. You need to at least speak to the team so they can continue building around you. They want to build around you. They're not going to do something shady. Their medical staff isn't going to rush you or anything. You are the centerpiece. We need you here. We're going to take care of you. You're making $18 million this year to not play. And he gets ripped on for more of that.
Oh, yeah.
July 5th, right? Spurs go to New York to see him for rehabilitation, right? They go over there. They want to go talk to him. He hides. He grabs his group. They go into a separate room, and they hide. The Spurs organization never saw him.
To be fair, LeBron hid from a lot of free agency people this offseason. He didn't talk to the Cavs face-to-face or anything like that.
True.
Or Philadelphia. He sent representatives for those. I don't know.
It's just...
That again just speaks to him deciding that he's done in San Antonio, that he's made up his mind where he's going to go. Unlike Paul George, who was willing to meet with other teams, LeBron had his mind made up, and I think Kawhi does too. Even though he's got a full year to wait for it.
Exactly. That's the only thing I have.
I completely agree.
And then the big one happens, right? LeBron goes to the Lakers, signs the Lakers, whole announcement goes. Mm-hmm. Kawhi then goes out and goes, I'd rather play for the Clippers in L.A. than the Lakers because I don't want to be in LeBron's shadow.
Did he actually say that? Did he come out and say that?
That's what it said in the thing I found.
I heard that those were fake reports. I heard that those were strictly rumors.
I'll have to fact
because
check
I
that
did a whole piece on that too, where Kawhi doesn't want to play for the Clippers. There's no way that he would want to play for the Clippers over the Lakers.
The only thing I could see it though about how he doesn't want to be in LeBron's shadow.
I could see that, but I think Kawhi doesn't. I don't think so.
I have an opinion on this too.
Okay.
I just want to get the timeline out of the way. July 18th, the big move happens with Kawhi and DeRozan, right? It's announced, big rumors, everything's out of the bag. DeRozan's like, I don't want to leave. I love Toronto. I love this organization. Why doesn't this organization want me anymore? Meanwhile, Kawhi is like, I don't want to play for the Raptors. Why did you do this?
Yeah.
And so basically, where I'm getting upset with this, right? You don't necessarily want to be the centerpiece. You want to play for a bigger market, probably a team that's just going to get you a ring. Mm-hmm. That's what you want most. However, you are the only basketball market in San Antonio. Sure, you have the Houston Rockets, and they're probably drawing a bigger crowd because they're winning more games currently right now.
Yes, and they're just the more fun team. Because the Spurs, they're a solid team. Yeah. They're not as fun to watch, quote unquote, fun to watch. So yeah, more marketable.
Moving on.
Houston's got a crazy amount of star power, too.
Exactly.
Yeah. Moving forward with that, when I went to San Antonio for a conference earlier this semester, and we walked around the city, there were people with projectors outside with Spurs games on every night. They had tickets that they were giving us on sale to fill the stadium. This town cares about its basketball team.
Oh, absolutely.
This city cares. They love their players. The amount of people I saw in Kawhi Leonard jerseys was ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have a fan base. You have a market. If you want it to grow bigger...
We're just going to skip past the part you just said they were offering you guys Spurs tickets during that damn conference.
Yeah. Except they were still kind of expensive, so I couldn't go.
That's fair.
All right, fair. I was going to hang on. You didn't go to one?
We thought about it because they played the Warriors one of the games, and we were like, that wasn't the game that they were going to give us the discount on.
But still.
And we were looking separately, and that was like still pretty expensive.
Yeah, that'd be, yeah.
Yikes.
But anyway, got me off track now. Thanks, Connor.
People wearing Kawhi
Welcome.
Leonard jerseys.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard. Like, oh yeah, that's where I was going. All right, so like the market, right? You want this market to grow? Show up, make big plays, make big wins, win the close ones, help your team. You are the centerpiece. You're the person that the entire city is looking towards to make a big move, and not even in the playoffs, to get to the playoffs in the regular season, playoffs, finals. They know you can do it. They believe in you. You guys have gotten to the finals with Cavs. Like, you can do it. Exactly. So
And he was a Finals MVP. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah. But yes.
Like, this city wants you. They care about you.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you want them? That's the biggest issue I have with this.
2 reasons. One, he's from California. I think, stone throw away from Staples Center, like hour at the most, I think, out of town. Same as Paul George. They're from there. They're Lakers fans. They have been since they were kids. 2, and this is the biggest thing, which I still don't really understand how he doesn't have this already. The shoe deal. He did not get a shoe because he's looking at James Harden, who's in the same state as him, who's getting a butt ton of money from, I think he's with
Adidas.
No. Is he with Adidas?
Okay. He's with Adidas.
He's getting a butt ton of money, more than his actual contract from Adidas with this shoe deal. Curry's getting a bunch. LeBron, obviously, is getting a bunch for his shoe deal. All these players are making most of their money through advertising and media and shoe deals and that kind of stuff. Kawhi never got that in San Antonio for whatever reason.
He doesn't have a shoe deal. He's under the Nike brand, but he doesn't have a signature shoe.
Right. And that,
to my
apparently,
knowledge,
this is what I keep hearing every time that this is brought up. That is a big reason that he is trying to go to L.A., specifically, and that's why he's pissed that he's in Toronto, because who the hell is going to get a shoe deal in Toronto?
True, but I think there's other ways you can go around that and just ask Nike directly and be like, hey,
I'm sure he has.
At what point do I get a shoe?
I guess.
Like, you're a big enough name.
Yeah.
Like, you could just go, yeah, I'm leaving Nike unless I get a shoe. And if they did...
He might be under contract there, too. Nike can't necessarily trade either. Breaking news: Nike trades Kawhi to Under
Adidas.
Armour.
Yeah. All right.
New Balance.
Yeah, New Balance. You're finally getting your shoes. Well, put it this way: Shaq had shoes, and they were under Reebok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it matter where you get your shoe?
No. Yes. No, as in the brand. Doesn't matter. But in the city, yeah. Where was Shaq when he got his shoe?
I don't even know, dude.
Pretty sure L.A. Wouldn't be surprised if it was L.A. If it wasn't L.A., it was probably Miami.
No, he had the shoe deal before he went to Miami.
I was going to say, it's got to be L.A., I would think.
All right.
I don't know. LeBron only has... I think LeBron actually... I don't know if he had one when he first was in Cleveland. He probably did.
I think he had a deal his rookie year.
But
actually.
that's LeBron. I mean,
he had something.
He's like, LeBron. He's the chosen one.
Monster.
I don't know. Kobe, obviously, L.A.
He started with he got Yamase with LA. He started with Adidas and then transferred to Nike.
Interesting. But yeah, I'm just that's the biggest reason that I see Kawhi wanting to go to LA. And I have an argument against the Clippers too, but we can talk about that later if we want to. But yeah.
I have more.
Yeah,
okay.
Keep going.
Yeah. So, another thing to look at, right? His stats.
Yeah.
His stats aren't anything phenomenal. They're not LeBron James.
No.
They're not necessarily Paul George sometimes. They're not necessarily Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Giannis. I'd say Giannis has better stats all around than Kawhi at this point.
That's the system, though.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
Well, yeah, Kevin. I would argue that's the system.
Exactly.
Plays more team ball.
Exactly, but I think that's where he fits. Because you move him to a different city where literally all the other players are going to rely on him, and I don't think he can handle it.
I think he could. He has a skill set, and
he's almost shooting.
And he's so well rounded.
He's shooting 50% career.
Yeah, but you played 9 games in a season. That still counts.
I'm just saying career. I'm looking career run. I'm 49.5% career wise. That's almost 40% three for a dude that got a dude that big.
Slow down. Yeah.
And he's known defensively. Those are pretty good offensive numbers, I'd say.
I just don't think a team is going to be able to rely on him solely offensively.
Me either.
And that's a problem.
That's why he should go to the Lakers. Yeah.
I'm not opposed to him going to the Lakers or anything. I'm just saying his whole situation is stupid.
Yeah.
And then you continue to hide from your team, not a good look. You continue to actively want out of an organization, not a good look.
Maybe that's why he wanted out of San Antonio. Maybe he knows himself that he can't be the number one dude. Or maybe he needs more help. He had Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker around him before.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he knows that. Maybe he knows he needs a better cast around him. Because, the couple teams that he has been looking at outside of L.A. with LeBron have been Philadelphia, Boston, these teams that already are kind of built. So maybe he knows that on some level.
Exactly.
Is it so much that he's looking at those teams because he knows he doesn't have to be the number one option, or is it because those are the most loaded teams that could get him to an NBA Finals quickly?
That's the other thing. I think Kawhi's more focused, obviously, on the shoe deal, but I think he's looking at championships.
See, you can't argue that he's looking for championships when he wants shoe deals and money and stuff like that.
He thinks that he's deserved money. I think he would, but that's why I think that's why he's looking at LA so hard, because he can go to LA, get the shoe deal, get the max contract, and chase championships.
He turned down $80 million though to get the Supermax to stay in San Antonio. So he'd be making more money in San Antonio.
I don't think he's chasing money, but he wants the shoe deal because he knows he can get it. But it's not the contract money that he's going after, but he's also winning. But it's not like he's not going to go play,
But why do you have to go to another stacked team? You've already won one.
He knows he's not.
You can get a decent supporting cast.
He knows he needs a supporting cast. I don't know.
You could just go to a team that has a good supporting cast and is missing a piece. And you could be that piece. Utah.
Portland. Washington.
Exactly. We're naming
Miami.
off teams right now.
Cap.
Miami. Ooh.
Yeah.
But he just wants the quick, easy thing, which is concerning me. Because why do you want the quick and easy?
What do you think? What's the quick and easy?
I would say Lakers are quick and easy.
Why?
They got LeBron. They have a young cast that's growing to be excellent players.
Right. Which is why I'm glad they didn't make the trade.
Exactly. Maybe not this season, but within the next 2 to 3 seasons, they'll be there.
I think that's a team right now that is a good core that is missing a piece. I don't think they're not going to beat the Warriors this year.
Maybe not this season, but with more knowledge, experience.
This team right now will never beat the Warriors. This current roster, they need another piece.
Okay.
I
just disagree.
That. I love Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Lonzo Ball fan. Josh Hart's a ball player. Holy crap. But I just don't see.
I'm just saying, having LeBron on your team, not purely talent-wise, which it does, completely drastically changes your team.
Oh, absolutely.
Not just talent-wise. I think with LeBron helping and coaching and molding those young players, while they can still be molded before they get into, I'm a vet, I'm going to make these mistakes I've been making since day one.
I still think
you can grow into a team that can just be an arsenal.
I think they need to add a second or third tier player to that roster to compete. Okay. Although I do think the Warriors are also going to fall off.
Definitely.
the map after this year. But that's a whole nother.
Can only keep so many stars at once for so long.
Yeah, they're not going to be able to keep Clay unless he takes a drastic pay cut, which I don't think he will.
And then
One
once
of
he
them's
goes, it's
gone.
going to fall apart.
Speaking of that, I think Clay's going to LA.
Anyway, back on Kawhi. What else do I have here?
Back to Tom's timeline.
Yeah.
Or his stats. Or
Yeah, everything I have here.
his notebook that he brought.
Yeah. So it's just another thing is like it's just never a good look. You have one more season. Why not play your heart out that season? Get these stats to a little more centerpiece looking stats. Prove to yourself and every other team that you can be that centerpiece. Then you're going to have free agents. You're going to have teams knocking on your door instead of you're knocking on your own team's door while not actually being there, asking to be traded to these other teams that are rivals to that team. It's not going to happen that way. If you have a specific team in mind that you really want to sign for, that you want to play for no matter what, wait that season, play your heart out to make yourself look good.
Beat them this season.
Exactly.
I think he's going to do that in Toronto, though. I think he's going to.
I don't think he's playing Toronto.
You don't think he's going to play?
He's not going to play.
If he doesn't play, no team's going to. The Lakers wouldn't want him. I don't think LeBron would want him.
The NBA, I think there's. I was saying this in the last episode that the NBA there's like strict, like very, very strict penalties if a player willingly, like healthy and everything, does not play the entire season, like sits himself out.
Plus,
like the league can step in.
Plus, he can still milk this rehabilitation thing in New York.
I think he knows because later, I think it was the next morning after this trade. After the trade happened, he was going, I don't want to play in Toronto. I might sit, blah, blah, blah. The next morning, he was like, yeah, I'm warming up to the city. I think he realizes that his reputation is on the line. I think he realizes that he needs to prove himself, especially coming off of an injury. I think he knows that he needs to play this year, and he needs to be good. He can't just come off and, 16 points. He's going to need to average at least 20.
It's just
probably
a
25.
bad look. It looks like you're just taking the money and then leaving. It's just horrible. And then on the flip side of that, if you're Toronto,
they did DeRozan dirty.
If you're Toronto, you tell one of your star players that is dedicated, that wants to be loyal to your team, the exact opposite of Kawhi Leonard, honestly. You're not going to trade him? And then you trade him for Kawhi Leonard?
A rental player.
Exactly.
They traded him for a rental player.
Someone that you might have for a season until he fakes another injury after putting up a few good games. It's just ridiculous to me. And I don't want to say loyalty's dead like DeMar did. Because you look at the Bucks.
I will.
We treat Giannis phenomenally. Giannis wants to stay.
He's returning.
We want him to stay.
He's returning the favor.
It's a good show of loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
D. Wade went off on loyalty in the NBA, which I thought was slightly ironic.
Yes.
Because, yes, he did end up back at the Heat, but he did leave for money to go to Chicago, so he could get more than the one-year vet minimum.
It's
got a little more money in Chicago.
The situation's different, though. That's his hometown with the young core, and he's a veteran. Yes. I think at the time when he left Miami the first time, they were understanding of it. Yes. That's why there wasn't any ill will. Right. That's why when they brought him back, it was like nothing ever happened. They're like, "Oh, he left? Oh, I didn't know that."
Unlike LeBron.
I'm not saying he abandoned Miami by any means.
No.
I'm just saying he did leave a team that he was dedicated to for a long time. It was his hometown, but then he still went to Cleveland to play with his friend. There? He got traded.
He signed. Yeah.
Oh, did he sign?
I think he signed a 1-year deal with Chicago.
Yeah, and he opted out. He signed a 2-year with Chicago, opt out.
Yeah.
Signed with Cleveland.
And then got traded back
to Miami.
Right.
So it's just kind of interesting why he didn't go straight back home.
I wouldn't I mean, as far as your loyalty argument, yeah, I can see that.
But the city still loves him. Mm-hmm. He didn't leave on bad terms. Mm-hmm. When he did leave, there's this big post about how much he loves the city. It'll always be another home to him. He just wanted to play for his hometown before he retired. It was beautifully well done. It's just you weren't completely loyal to that one team.
Right.
I don't know where this disloyalty began. I'm not going to assume, point the finger, anything like that. Kyle's going to cough and point the finger.
Boston Celtics.
Solid argument. One could argue Shaq.
Yeah. He was kind of the first, I'm going to go join 6 different super teams. Yeah, or make 6 different super
Yeah.
teams. That's a fair point.
But ever since it started, it was like you roll a golf ball sized snowball off like a mountain, a snowy mountain, and it's just been cascading ever since.
It's been bad.
So
NBA's,
now,
although you do have to admit the NBA is a lot more entertaining. I
disagree.
Which free agency do you look more forward to, the NFL or the NBA?
See, that's an interesting question because I don't want to look forward towards a free agency.
Oh, I do.
I want to look forward towards a good competitive season.
You don't think this season's going to be competitive?
It's going to be competitive between like 6 teams.
I disagree. I strongly disagree. Especially if you look at the standings for last season. The Rockets are falling down, so they're not even. I don't even think they're top 5.
I disagree on that one.
They lost to Reza. No, the Rockets. Especially if they get Carmelo. No,
Oh, yeah, if they get Melo, then
they're going to be.
Melo
bad.
just drags teams down at this point.
People
Honestly.
forget Portland was the number 3 seed last year. Utah's on their way up.
True.
Donovan Mitchell's fantastic. Obviously, the Lakers are in there now. Dallas is going to be decent.
Cleveland's out.
That's in the East, though. You got so many teams in the East. Detroit's going to be good with Blake Griffin and
Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond. Thank you.
I'll wait and see results for that one.
The Bucks. I think the Bucks are on their up and
It's
up
the
this
Bucks
year.
and Boston's like it's their conference in my opinion.
Toronto.
Philly.
I still think it's going to come down to Bucks and
Miami.
Boston.
Indiana.
Indiana, yeah, it's a sleeper.
Actually, Victor Oladipo is like a monster.
Yeah, honestly.
I think this year is more competitive than last year.
Just wait until you guys get to my top 5. That's
Me
going to
too.
cause arguments.
I'm excited. I'm excited for that. We're gonna do top 5 NBA players in a little bit here.
Oh, is it?
Or
I thought it was Eastern.
Eastern
It's
Conference
like,
players.
geez,
No, yeah,
don't make
no,
me
no.
like look things up real quick.
No, Eastern Conference players.
So it's just, I think at this point, most teams, because Bucks seem to be very loyal to like their star players, minus Jabari.
That's different.
Jabari got into a lot of injury issues though.
Injury issues, and he wanted to play for his hometown.
Yeah, and he
So,
kind of left on his
I
own.
don't-
He left on his own.
Well, and it because Giannis took off. So then they were like, okay, he's our guy because he's not getting injured. You know,
In my opinion, Jabari should never have been our guy.
he could have been. I think he honestly had the potential to be one of the best offensive players. Like he had potential to be Carmelo Anthony on the offensive end, like in his
I
prime.
guess.
He had the potential for it.
It's just, I don't know. That's a lot of pressure on a power forward.
He's not gonna be power forward anymore. He's gonna be small forward. We'll get to that in a little bit too.
So it's just kind of like, I think teams are more loyal to that championship. They realize the same 3 teams have been in the finals consecutively. Now when the free agency hits and you kind of get that sense that loyalty isn't here anymore and you have money to spend, you can buy people. Yeah, I know you think it's fun. It's fun in 2K. I don't think it's fun in real life.
Why not?
Because I'd rather have every team have 1 star player and just see what happens.
But that's not how you win anymore. Because then there's always going to be that one team that has 2 or more. There's always going to be that team. And then other teams look at that and say, we can't compete with that. We need to go bring in a couple stars.
And then you get to what you have now.
Yeah. Which is players jumping from teams trying to beat the best teams.
I can see your argument, all right? I'm not saying you're wrong. I would never say you're wrong to begin with.
Yeah, it's an opinion.
It's opinion.
Yeah, right.
I see your argument. I'll just disagree, I guess,
Yeah.
because I can see why players want to jump ship. But I think it's teams that have money are also like, hey, we have the money to get you, this player, and I think we're going to win the championship.
That's fair.
And then we'll sign you for 2 years, and then you can leave and do that with a different team.
One last point I'll make is that the conference finals on each end both had their highest ratings in 20 years.
See, I guess the Celtics did kind of pull it out. Because like the only one,
And they both went to 7 games.
Yeah.
I think competition is fine in the NBA right now.
once you get that far,
It's shifted towards the West, yes.
oh yeah.
Only really with 2 teams, I would argue. LA and
I just think you
Golden
have
State.
most of your biggest stars in the
That's
West.
fair. Connor, you want to throw anything in?
Yeah, I guess my only thing about Tom's point about about the teams with the money and the salary cap space to spend that money and everything. My only response, because I know because like I was saying on the previous episode, there's people who still get on me about it. They're like, oh, you must like this, you must like that. My response is tell the other teams. I don't mean to be that typical MLG gamer guy, but tell them to get good. Like it's not like it like sure you don't have the money. That's not an excuse because you can't go buy a star. Build a star, develop a team. Utah's doing that with Donovan Mitchell. And if you somehow have them build a culture. That's why I like the Oklahoma City Thunder so much. Is because they had those stars and they drafted those stars and they developed them first. But when they had them and when they had the money to spend the stars, they still didn't go freewheeling for it.
One might argue that they picked the wrong star to follow them.
Right, exactly. But still, I mean that's definitely an argument that we can have. But they had a 1 in 3 chance and they failed. But still, like my point is like to develop the culture. They developed 3 future MVPs. And then it's not even like they went out and bought Paul George. They traded for him. And the contract and everything just so happened to work out underneath their salary cap. They don't have a massive market. They don't have LA money. They don't have New York money. Miami's got sneaky money. The Bulls have a bunch of cap room too. Yeah. They don't have that money, but they built that culture and the way they structured everything, it worked. That's why they're able to have those stars. So I get Tom's point, but my counterpoint to Tom, pretty much the same people who like to get on my ass on Facebook and everything, is it is not the big team's fault with salary cap that the rest of the teams in the NBA completely fail to build with what they have. It is not their fault.
I'm not saying it's just specific teams. I'm just saying every team at this point would rather purchase than develop.
I disagree.
I don't think every team. I think it depends.
Yeah, it depends where your market is.
I look at Philadelphia. I look at Washington,
Minnesota.
Minnesota, Portland, Utah. I said Utah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know.
Most teams would rather purchase, I think. And then, I understand. I agree with you, Connor, that, yes,
Milwaukee.
People should develop. My only argument to that, and don't get me wrong, LeBron James is a phenomenal player. Love him. He's great. Phenomenal on the court. Yes. I just think teams see that that's a lot of raw talent with development. And if you don't get that same level of raw talent and you're trying to develop a next LeBron James, you're going to get discouraged because it's not going to happen as quickly as you want it to. So
LeBron came out the womb of basketball god, so he's kind of the outlier
Fair
here.
Point. Wait for his
no one really saw Giannis being what he was when they drafted him, and he's arguably the top, if not the best player in the Eastern Conference.
Get to that in a second.
I don't think it's so much that it's not so much that I think they need to look and start developing the next Kobe or the next LeBron or the next this. You draft well, you find the high ceiling guys, you find the high potential guys, and you develop them, you help them fulfill their potential, and you roll with what you got. I don't think you. And then if you feel like you can if you have the ability to get a star to merge with a young promising core, then you go out, and if you have the money, by all means, go for it. If not, continue to roll with what you have, like Utah is doing. Or if you're the Lakers, if you know you have that core and you're able to attract big stars, even Chicago, there is rumors in the beginning of free agency that young core attracted a lot of stars, but they just weren't sure with how the front office is. No one's sure about the Chicago. It does
so much.
We'll get to the Bulls.
Get a new coach.
We'll get to the Bulls in a second too.
My thing is I agree. I guess what I'm saying is I agree with you, and yet I disagree. I agree to the fact that some teams want to go and purchase that star, but where my disagreement comes in is I think they'll only purchase that star if they know they have the ability to and when the time is right. I don't think you're going to have a team that's complete ass, dead last in a conference, and they're like, oh, we just so happen that we're just going to cut all these players and go get a star player and we'll be fine. No, I think they need to develop the culture, develop the team, a la Utah and the Lakers, even though they've been the butt of every Western Conference joke, especially since Lonzo got drafted.
Yeah.
You develop that young core, and then if you're able to get a star in free agency, you get him. Or if you're Milwaukee, or if you're a Philly, and those elite stars are just developed, even better. You might not even have to make that next step and go purchase a big name free agent.
I agree with most of that. I think arguably it depends on the player.
Agreed.
Like if you're LeBron's free agent saying he's leaving, and you're not on that thing of, hey, I want to see if I can put a bid in here, I think you're a little crazy.
Oh no, that's that's without a shadow of a doubt. I mean, anyone with cap space is going to throw a bit, is going to try to toss out an offer for LeBron. Yeah. But I don't think they just did it free willy spending. I think it's a calculated risk because LeBron's going to come with a price, and you still have an entire roster to fill out.
To wrap this up real quick, I'm just going to say, if you look at the top teams in the NBA right now, excluding Houston, I think Houston's really the only example where they bought, because they bought James Harden, obviously, and then they built their team around him. Look at Golden State.
Well, they developed Steph. They
developed Steph.
They developed
Clay,
that entire
and
core. Yeah, they developed
and then
that entire
they brought
core.
in. My argument is that the NBA is turning into, which I like a lot. You develop a team, a core, and then you go get that one missing piece. You figure out what your missing piece needs to be. Obviously, Kevin Durant's not a missing piece.
I was going to say, they did not need Kevin Durant.
But they still beat their core.
Sure
they
as hell
built a
did not
championship
need
core.
Kevin
That's what I'm
Durant.
saying. This league is building.
Snake.
This league is now building a team and a core, and then if necessary, or maybe if not necessary in some cases, bringing in a star to help that roster.
At this point, I guess to wrap up the whole Kawhi thing and DeMar thing,
Yep.
I feel really bad for DeMar.
Loyalty's dead.
I don't want him to get all down on everything. I hope he finds a new city. I hope he finds a lot of appreciation and love in San Antonio that he'll want to stay. If not, I hope he finds a different city that he'd love to go back to and be loyal to for the rest of his career, as long as he'll be willing to be loyal back, because it seems like he really loves being with one city and connecting with one city of fans. Moving past that, I'm very scared Kawhi is going to become the next Kevin Durant, or possibly even worse.
Next Shaq.
I think he needs to figure out. Honestly, I think at this point it's humility and self-respect, because I think he's missing those both right now, and he needs to figure it out really quick. Otherwise, he's just going to fall off the face of the earth. He's going to be like Larry Sanders.
Yikes.
Very talented, good defensive player.
Yeah.
Gone.
I don't think Kawhi. My prediction is that Kawhi's going to LA next year. Anyway, moving on. Tom, you're a Chicago Bulls fan.
Am.
Connor, you're also a Chicago Bulls fan. So I'm
when I decide to be.
I feel that. I feel that on a spiritual level.
I'm going to ask you guys two questions. One, how do you feel as a Bulls fan with the Jabari deal and him coming onto the team? And two, how do you feel about your team this year and going forward the next couple of years? Tom, you can start.
I don't mind Jabari being on the team. It's not like I said earlier, it was his choice to come here.
Right.
And he could have stayed with the Bucks, and the Bucks were on the up.
Mm-hmm.
Bulls are struggling a little bit. We have pieces.
It's one way to put
Not
it.
everything's falling into place. I think coaching needs to be changed drastically.
I say give him a chance. I've heard they have a lot of hopes for this season because of the roster that they have right now.
We have a lot of hopes for every season.
That's fair. Last year, I don't think you had a lot of hopes. You guys tried to tank last year.
Nah, what are you talking about? So, anyway, Zach LaVine, I was very nervous.
Yes.
All right? I was very nervous that we lost Zach LaVine.
I was nervous for you guys.
Because even when he was on the Timberwolves, huge Zach LaVine fan. Loved him.
Talented.
I really enjoy the Timberwolves. I like their jersey colors, kind of superficial, stupid, but I love it. I really like Karl Anthony Towns. When I do franchises, if I'm not the Bulls, I do Timberwolves just because it's a fun team. We got Zach LaVine. I was so excited. I was a little upset we got rid of Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler was on his
way out. Yeah.
He was on his shit, all right?
Yeah.
He was doing the little Kawhi stuff.
And now he's doing it again.
Yeah.
He's speaking of toxic people, he's so toxic in the locker room.
Don't get me started. Do not get me started.
Anyway, he's gone.
We'll do a day on Jimmy Butler.
He's gone. So we got Zach LaVine, and then everyone's like, "Oh, he's just a dunker. He's just a dunker." And he was a little injured. He got back. He developed a shot.
Mm-hmm.
He's athletic.
He always had a 3-point shot. I thought
he had a decent 3-point shot, but now he's got a decent shot all around.
He didn't shoot a lot in Minnesota, though.
No,
that's true.
And so it developed a lot. So he's a good scorer. He's very quick, athletic. He's a great guard. Like, we need that kind of player. And you can really tell from if you look at my former love. I mean, I still love him, but, like, I wish he was still a Bull, Derrick Rose. Quick, athletic guard, tore up the league.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Zach LaVine's a good example of that. You know who else was there? I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but he was a big dude.
Lauri Markkanen.
No. Oh, we have him now.
Joakim Noah.
Yeah. So, like, Rose and Noah, and now we have Lauri Markkanen. We have a Zach LaVine. We have a Jabari Parker.
We still have a Chris Dunn.
To
my knowledge.
I've been trying to figure out their starting five. I feel like he'll probably be him and.
It's probably going to be Dunn, LaVine, Parker, Markkanen, and Carter Jr. Or Robin Lopez. Robin Lopez, if they want to start the.
It'll be Wendell Carter Jr. because he's a Dookie and I love him. Anyway,
I agree with Kyle. I just think we have a great set of guys. I don't think we're going to go too far this season. I hope we get above 500, maybe a 6th seed, maybe playoffs.
I would say playoffs are definitely a goal for you guys.
Yeah, they should be a goal.
Very achievable. They're achievable, especially in the East.
Yeah, especially in the East now with the whole shakeup. We have all the pieces in place. I want Jabari to stay healthy, as being from Wisconsin and following the Bucks just because it's a hometown state, and like I'm never gonna hate the Bucks because I've just grown up around them.
Bucks Bulls in the Eastern Conference Finals. Who are you cheering for? Just hypothetical. I'm curious.
I know. I'm thinking about it. I really enjoy Giannis and watching Giannis.
I was gonna say current rosters, like if it happened this year.
Yeah, I really. That's difficult because I know Giannis deserves one. Yes. He deserves a championship. Milwaukee deserves a championship. That would break so many barriers for that city.
It would. Oh God, it'd be huge.
It'd be amazing. Oh, I'd be so torn. I'd want it to go to 7.
I'm just curious where your loyalty stands.
I would want it to go to 7, and then I'd figure it out.
Because I always say, as a basketball fan, I'm a Bucks fan and I'm a LeBron fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been a Cleveland fan, I've been a Miami fan, now I'm an LA fan. But
I'll always love my homer teams.
Whenever the Bucks play those teams, I still revert back to the Bucks. They're always my number one team. So that was
like
just
I'm also a LeBron fan. I'm gonna follow the Lakers like crazy. I followed the Lakers like crazy when Kobe was there because I loved Kobe Bryant. I had Kobe posters in my room. It was insane.
Anyway, okay, back to the Bulls. Sorry.
It's so tough for me. I can't. Just because the homer thing, like
That's
Milwaukee
fair.
needs something big to happen,
Yeah.
and if it's not through the Brewers, it needs to come from the Bucks.
That's fair. I know Connor would be dressed in red.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
That's fine.
I adopted the Bucks, but I mean,
Yeah.
I got to go back to literally the city I was born in.
That'd be an interesting matchup of Jabari versus Giannis.
Oh my God! Now I want it.
Yeah, exactly.
We're not
You'll
gonna
see
get
it.
It's going to be Boston.
We'll see it, though.
It's going to be Boston, Milwaukee. We will see it.
We will see it.
We will see the matchup. Anyway, back to the team.
I would say probably the Bulls. When it came down to it, I'd probably go Chicago.
That's fair. Back to the team. So this year you said 6th seed is like probably a high end goal for you guys. Playoffs is the goal. What do you think? What did you get LaVine for? 4 years?
Yeah,
I think it's 4.
yeah.
And Parker is a year and a team option. Markkanen's still on his rookie deal for probably 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3.
Carter 4 years. Dunn still a couple of years, I would think. So, looking forward, I would say the next 2 or 3 seasons. How do you think the Bulls stack up? Do you think they bring people in? Do you think they keep this core roster and just try to build off of that?
I think we're in a place right now that if front end figures out how to pull each other's heads out of their asses, that we can develop. We can develop with what we have right now and become lethal. If Jabari opts all in which would be phenomenal,
Yeah.
I think we have a good chance. If Jabari leaves, I think we have a hole to fill. Just slightly at least. Get someone in or develop someone, draft someone, and keep it developing because I think we're on the right track of a rebuild right now. We really found the pieces, and we found the pieces quickly. It wasn't as long as a rebuild as I thought or imagined it would be. It's always interesting to me looking at current Bulls and looking at past Bulls when we had Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
And healthy Derrick Rose, confident Derrick Rose.
With Joakim Noah, Luol Deng, Kyle Korver,
Taj
Carlos
Gibson.
Boozer, Taj Gibson. Yeah.
We were a contender. And then we
Squad.
fell off.
Squad.
But imagine if you didn't get injured in the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we would I'd say we'd still be contenders, and the Eastern Conference would look a little differently.
You think that core might have stayed together?
I think Derrick Rose would have stayed.
I think Rose and Noah, because Noah was just a better fit there. I think he would have.
We could have filled in the spots for big guys.
Connor, since you're the other Chicago dude here, your thoughts real quick on. You've already kind of given your thoughts on Jabari, but how do you think Jabari fits with the team? How do you think the team does this year and the future years going forward?
I think he fits well with the core. I think with the coaching scheme that Hoiberg has, I think he'll definitely be able to play up to his skill sets because he likes to spread out the floor. I think how the Bulls will do this upcoming season, Tom pretty much mentioned it, especially now that the East. Oh, East. I actually said West. Oh, Matt and Ryan, edit that out.
No, do not edit that out.
Maybe.
But in the East, it's definitely thinned out. It's thinned out a little bit, so it's not unattainable to get a playoff spot. I think the team is going to alter their mindset right now as far as from going from full rebuild to we're still going to try to get the pieces together. So we're still going to try to figure out what we have. However, we can contend to at least get into the playoffs. I think that would actually help that young core a lot better in comparison to tanking, especially when you have a guy like Jabari who's been on a team who's been competitive in the East as well. That helps him out as well. As far as the future of this team, as long as Paxson and Foreman are still in the front office, I can't tell you. I would like to give you a definite answer and a definite opinion, but I don't know because Garpax, just when I think they're going to do something right, they find a way to screw it up. In this case, they did something right with the Jabari deal, essentially a 1-year, $20 million contract if nothing works out. So right now they're doing good things.
They did something right with Levine.
Right, they did something right with Levine. I think they kind of it should have never gotten that far with Levine anyway. I think they should have. The Garpax almost broke this entire team down before free agency even began. But we kept the core, and so all's well that ends well.
Question.
I don't know. Yes.
Who do we build up more as a centerpiece, Markkanen or Levine?
All. Both. I mean, if you have control of both. I mean, you kind of said it yourself. I mean, yeah, you had Joakim Noah there on the team for a year or two before Rose got there. Try to build that up. Try to get a 2.0. Except Markkanen can hit a jump shot and can hit a free throw and everything. And Levine, Levine.
He's not wrong.
Oh my God, his shot was like a.
And Levine, you just gotta harness that potential. You gotta make sure he's good on the ball, off the ball, and obviously you gotta make sure he's healthy as well. So I think they have the pieces in place with the guys that they drafted this year, and Hutchinson and Carter Jr. with the players that are already there. I mean, this is the first real year where I will actually sit back and let Hoiberg do his thing. Where I'm just gonna sit there and be like, all right, man, this is the team, that is built for you. They're giving him a Hoiberg team to make that system. So this is the one year I'm going to be interested in. I will say I don't really have an answer to how I think the team's future will be in the next 2-3 years until I see A, what they do this season, and B, the 2019 free agent.
True.
See, I won't know. I need to see something during the season to make me believe that the Bulls don't want to be a doormat. And I also need to see them be aggressive in free agency in 2019 because they're going to have the cap space. And if they develop this young core right, they can attract a piece or two. So this season is, in my opinion, it's a lot more crucial than I think Bulls fans and more crucial than I think even the Bulls themselves realize.
I think it needs to start from the top down of the mentality now that you have this many pieces currently that can grow and develop into a very great team, that you have to realize you can be contenders now and you're no longer in this, well, we're rebuilding, we'll just give it our best shot. You need to realize we're contenders now, we can be contenders, we can develop this team, we need to start acting and playing like it and being smarter from now on.
I wouldn't necessarily say contenders, because when you say contenders, especially in the NBA now, when you say contenders, that connotation is, conference finals or NBA finals or bust. I think they can be competitive. Like, this is the year where they need to be competitive. And if the team can show that they can be competitive, make some noise, because I think that will help this young core grow a lot as well. It'll show a lot. It'll show the entire league that, hey, the Bulls are they're coming back. It'll show free agents that there's something there. And I mean, like I said, this season I think is much more crucial than I think Bulls fans, the Bulls organization, and I think just anyone who even just gives a light of day to the Chicago Bulls realizes. Because if they play their cards right this year with that core and with that cap space going into an absolutely loaded 2019 free agency class, who's to say that not this upcoming NBA season, but the following one, depending on what happens this season and during free agency, that's when we'll be able to know, okay, are the Bulls going to contend, or are they fine with getting a bottom half, a bottom half of the Eastern Conference, like a 4 through 8 seed or a 6 through 8 seed, and they're content with getting to the first round and getting bounced, and maybe having a shock win here or there. This season is crucial, and I know this is probably going to be the first season since my sophomore year at Whitewater where I'm actually going to intently watch Bulls basketball. Like, this will be the first one where I'm going to be like, all right, now I'm watching.
If you ever want a viewing partner.
Deal. I get it all streamed through I get all the games through my cable service here.
Done.
Thanks, Comcast Sportsnet. So
I'll be there when I can. I guess I'm not disagreeing with you, and I know Kyle wants to wrap it up, so I'm gonna say this kind of quickly. I'm just saying, we saw in this past playoffs though what a young competitive team in the Boston Celtics could do if they made the playoffs.
Well coached. Sorry.
It all depends. I think it's a mentality thing, and he gets his stuff together. He realizes he has pieces that he can maybe implement a plan now. It can be good. But, again, if he doesn't do that within the first 20 games, I think we need to start looking for a head coach for next season.
Like I said, this year is crucial for that team and Hoiberg. I mean, Hoiberg's literally getting the team perfectly assembled for his system. I agree with both of you. He needs to show me something. He needs to show everyone something.
100%. Connor, you said you have a question/topic for Tom?
Oh, do I?
We should also try to get through this quick.
Yes. All right. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to just ask this, and then I'll ask Tom, and then both of you guys can give me your thoughts. And I have my thoughts on this one too.
Yeah.
Joshua Hader. Oh boy.
Oh boy. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this, Connor.
I'm sure. But you guys saw the tweets. Yep. You guys also saw the standing O. I want your guys' thoughts on the tweets, first of all, and the reaction to the standing ovation that he received, and maybe even your reaction to the media's reaction to the standing O.
Oh, that's where most of mine goes towards. But do you want us to just jump into it?
Yeah, I'll go with Tom first.
Sure.
Tom first. So anyway, sorry about that. Serious topic.
That was well played.
So I actually worked concessions at the Brewer game last night. So I was there when I heard his name. I was there when I heard an eruption of cheers and everything like that.
I was listening to it.
It was kind of a surreal moment just being there and hearing that many people cheer and not knowing exactly what's going on. It's just always cool to hear thousands of people erupt. As far as the Twitter thing, yikes. that's the first thing that came to mind was just, yikes. I didn't get to follow the All-Star games as much as I wanted to. I've been working every single day. Like, tomorrow's my first day off in, like, 8 days. So I didn't really catch on to it as quickly as I'm sure you guys did. All of a sudden I'm on a Brewer fan club page on Facebook, and I said, we need to cut Hater. And I was like, why do we need to cut Hater?
Yikes.
And so...
you see that the night of? See, I honestly didn't see anything until the day after.
Okay.
I wasn't on my phone.
I saw that the night
I was
of.
just intently watching the game.
And I went online and I was like, what's this about? Read some articles. Some articles didn't have any tweets on there, so I found one that did have the tweets on there. And I was like, well, how bad can bad be? Pretty bad.
They're pretty bad.
They're pretty awful.
I have them open right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, same.
I'm seeing them. It's wild. Like, even the Brewers team was kind of like dumbfounded by this. Like, wow, never noticed this. And when you're young, you'd say stupid things that you think are funny. It's sometimes a product of what you're surrounded by as far as community. You're not always around every other culture that there is in this nation and there is around the world. You can be insensitive towards those things. I, unfortunately, have said things, and I haven't posted anything to my knowledge of anything, but I definitely have said things, unfortunately, that I deeply regret.
I was gonna bring up, just because me and Tom are from Tomahawk, you know, very smart, 3,000 people. We weren't exposed to this type of thing, so as kids, you know, we were very insensitive to it. So upbringing has a huge part in it, and that's why the tweets are terrible. But to me, that's why I'm not saying he gets a pass. Obviously, he's going to his sensitivity training, all that kind of stuff. But that's why he's not being cut, because this wasn't a 24-year-old Josh Hader saying these things. It was a 17-year-old. So that's the only, I don't want to say excuse, but that's the only reason that he's not being punished as strictly. So, Tom.
To continue, kind of like Kyle hit on the head. I know we've been together and we thought some things were funny that we grow up now and we realize aren't funny. Yeah. And it's just an unfortunate thing. I've apologized to people. It's definitely a bad thing. It's not correct by any means. Upbringing has a factor, but it still doesn't excuse the actions that were taken. Right. And that's just something you kind of have to live with and move past and correct yourself as a person moving forward. That said, putting it on Twitter is a little wild.
Yes. That's the worst part. I don't understand.
I don't see why you had to post any of that.
Me either.
You can even look at the James Gunn thing currently going on. He did it for his reason.
That's
was
the
to
difference,
be provocative.
because it's the 17-year-old hater. That's my argument, 17-year-old hater versus 40-year-old, 50-year-old James Gunn. Yeah.
I guess, and I understand that, like, youth gets a pass in most things.
I just don't think advocate in this scenario. Yeah,
it's a touchy scenario because like it's been a while, and the team was like, I've never seen the side of him. He's never acted like this. He's just been a cool dude, which is cool. Maybe he has corrected his actions or everything, but let's say I went through a phase in high school. I was a little depressed. I'd post like some depressing things, share some depressing pictures, something like that. I go through my hey, see your memories thing. I see that stuff, and it's like, that's not who I am anymore.
Right.
I delete that post. I don't want it there anymore. It's something that, like, yeah, I thought was funny when I was a kid, or like, oh, wow, I'm so edgy. Look at how sad I am. And it doesn't need to be there. That stuff you can keep to yourself. And if, honestly, just quick side note, if you're honestly struggling with that kind of thing, talk to somebody. It's the best thing in the world for you. And then if that person doesn't want to listen, then they're not really your friend. And seek professional help. There's a lot of options for you, and surround yourself with better people. This, though, there's no really surrounding yourself with better people other than surrounding yourself with people that don't have those beliefs, people that are inclusive, are of different culture, and that you can learn from and realize that what you said was a mistake. He said it was a mistake. He said it was like older him. He was young, stupid. not as knowledgeable of the world, how the world works and everything. It's just, I think it should be more than sensitivity training. Right now, I feel like, because, I don't know, on the flip side of that is he could maybe honestly be like this and just not blatant about it anymore. And so he's just playing nice to play nice because he's playing on the team. And then I also feel like talent should not excuse...
I don't think it does in this situation, to be honest.
What's it called? Talent should not excuse this kind of behavior, I guess.
Yeah.
It's the easiest way I can say it without thinking of the correct word at the moment. I honestly think the tweets are pretty inexcusable. Unfortunately, people have screenshots of them, so like they're always going to be around now. I think a big part of it is first step, delete them. Well, first step, apologize, which he has already.
He has, yeah.
Second step, go back, delete them, delete the entire Twitter handle if you have to, start a new one. I don't care if you lose followers. It's just a product of you've made mistakes, apologize for them on the new Twitter handle, whatever you have to do. Do your sensitivity training. I think the Brewers are handling it in an interesting way of he has a lot to prove now. He's got to prove to us that that's not who he is anymore. I know I feel like it's an interesting feeling in that locker room right now. That it's just like, I trusted this guy. We were like kind of like a family because Brewers really is a family.
Oh, yeah.
And then you find out something like, oh, like say I found out my dad murdered someone. I'd be like, oh, cool, you're my dad, but like, I'm scared of you. My dad hasn't murdered anyone, just so, because it's going out on the internet. I just want to make sure. It's probably a tense feeling of, yes, we're still close because that's not who you are anymore, but yes, you did that thing, so I'm not necessarily going to forget that, but I'm willing to forgive that. Yeah. And that's just kind of a take on it. And then you look at Disney and Marvel, which you said, different situation kind of. Same kind of tweets came out, and they're done. They're
also bigger
market.
Bigger market. Yeah.
But they fired him. He's done.
Right.
So I just kind of curious how the situation isn't always the same for what was said and what was done. From a talent perspective, not looking at this, having to have him cut for something like this, I guess would be slightly upsetting as a fan because, like, oh, he was a good pitcher. We need good pitchers. We're on a good streak this season. But you look at the brass tacks of it all. If that's what it had to come down to, I'd support that decision. I just feel like he should have got fined. Just more than one sensitivity training. Maybe get suspended a couple games. I don't know. Nothing's okay here. There's never going to be a right answer. Just grow up, I guess. Know you have to grow up. Correct your decisions, your choices that you've made, because you can't really take them back, and that's the unfortunate part. You can't get a redo and not do them ever again. It's just you move on, you become a better person, and it's a learning experience. I feel like only sensitivity training isn't enough, and I feel really bad for everyone that was affected by this, whether it was in his hometown and he just was like that, and there were people like that in his hometown that got offended by it, people that were offended by it that followed him. It is unfortunate, but I'm, like I said, I go back to my memories on Facebook. I delete the posts. You can't tell me a 24-year-old Josh Hader completely forgot about all those tweets.
Yeah.
So you just kind of have to be mindful of that stuff, especially in this day and age, that it will surface. So if that's not who you are anymore, get rid of it. Don't get rid of it because you're hiding it because you don't want the world to know that's who you are, because that's just who you are and you're a shitty person, and I don't want to be friends with you. So it's... I'm trying to think of a thing to say that can make this all right, and there never is. People are going to be offended.
Oh, yeah.
It's always a touchy situation now of how should you punish a person for past mistakes.
True. So that's kind of what I want. I'm going to give my quick 2 cents about it. I won't go too long. First of all, we're talking about in sports, people are suspended only a handful of games for domestic violence. So that's the culture we live in. So I'm not surprised that he wasn't punished that hard. My second thing, I forgot already. The biggest thing to me, why everything is kind of settling down and why Milwaukee gave him such a big ovation and everything, is because that specifically Jeremy Jeffress and Jesus Aguilar, specifically those two, and Lorenzo Cain, those three went on social media shortly after it happened and showed their support for Hader. They said they are really good friends with him. They don't think that he's like that anymore. They still stand by him. I think that was one of the biggest things that happened, and that's why maybe the league or the team has not come down on him as hard, because past mistakes.
I will say, though, real quick.
Yes.
Being in that stadium, that's a lot of pressure to kind of like deal with, to know that like thousands, millions of people are like kind of against you right now.
Yes.
They aren't happy with you, but to
Yes.
go out and still perform, I think
And he
perform well.
Compared to his
is a feat of its own, but it still doesn't excuse the actions.
And my final real quick thing, Connor, I do want to hear your thoughts on this too. I saw the specific one that stands out in my mind is Jamel Hill from ESPN. She tweeted something along the lines of, she said something like, "Tell me again why the dude with the racist tweets is getting a standing ovation in Milwaukee," or something like that. And she was very critical of it. I responded to her. Obviously, she probably didn't see it, but I had to say something, because like in that, like, they were giving him a standing ovation in my interpretation because they see the mistake, but it was almost like a forgiving type, because he cried during his apology. His teammates came out and supported him. It was almost like a forgiving type of thing without forgetting. Mm-hmm. Like, they know what happened, but we're still going to support you. You're still on our team. You know, welcome back type of thing. I don't know why the media was. I get why the media was so hard on it, but again, like, it's sports. Like,
the only thing that concerns me with the standing ovation from Milwaukee is that Milwaukee is one of the most segregated cities in the nation.
The most.
It is the most.
It is. Yes. So I don't know. Those are just my 2 cents on it, Connor. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on this.
I want to know if he's actually sorry that he did it and actually remorseful that he did it.
Not crying because he's in trouble.
And someone and someone brought it up, or I want to know if he's sorry that he got caught.
Yes.
And I also want to know that if the play of his teammates of color and of Hispanic descent actually wholeheartedly support him, or if this was just the obligatory, he's my teammate, I have your back, you're my boy Blue, let's go back to work so we can just play baseball again.
Right.
And I don't want to be that guy. I really, really don't want to be that guy, but that's what I think is happening here. Oof. I can tell you what I hope is happening, and I hope that's not the case. Right. I really 1,010% hope that is not the case here. But I mean, from my experiences, and you guys hit the nail on the head here. You know, past experiences and upbringing and everything, that has a lot to do with it. That plays a significant role, especially when you're 17 years old and when you're in high school and you're still in this I gotta fit in stage and everything like that, and just high school in general. That plays a big role. Some people grow up. They realize that was stupid, it was ignorant, and they completely change their ways. And then there are others who are stuck in their ways, who that's how they feel, but they ain't going to make it as obvious as they once did. They're going to keep it under wraps. And I have been around, and I have unfortunately worked with both, to be completely honest. I mean, hell, this past year alone, I was in a conversation with someone, and one dude looked at me and was like, "No offense, but I called someone the N-word the other day." And I'm just like, first of all, if you got to look me dead in my goddamn face and tell me no offense, then obviously there's some offense.
Obviously.
Why would you say that to begin
Like,
with?
it was like, right,
Yeah.
right. Like, first of all, it's just like, oh, I was like, oh, good. It wasn't to me. No offense taken. No, first of all, and I'm sorry, and I know I try not to swear on this podcast, but the first thing I wanted to say was fuck you to this dude, honestly. For that, because it's BS. It's complete BS. And so, what I hope with Josh Hader here, and I was reading all the different reactions on Twitter and everything, and I saw one person tweet something, and it made a lot of sense. When you're an up and coming baseball player, you got to go through the minors, and you're exposed to a lot of different things, a lot of different people, a lot of, you're going to be exposed to Hispanics in the Dominican, Cuba, et cetera, trying to work and scratch and claw their way up, because that's their life. That's their escape, and, there's a growing amount of African-American baseball players, and they're still a good amount in the minors too, but more and more are coming up. You're seeing more of them be top prospects in baseball. So with a lot of that traveling in the minors and everything, they don't get the minor league baseball doesn't get like the travel luxuries and everything like they do in the show. So a lot of that, all of that, could humble very quickly, very, very quickly. So what I hope is that all of that is true. I want to believe Josh Hader. I want to believe his teammates. I want to forgive him. But there's a part of me that's just like, are you really, sure, you apologized and you cried and everything, but are you really absolved from your sins here? Are you really remorseful? Did you really change? I really want to know what this sensitivity training is that's supposed to do something. Absolutely. Is he going to go out and be around different thing of people of color, of people of different descent, of people of because it wasn't even racist tweets either. It was homophobic tweets. Yep. It was sexist tweets. I want to know if
MLB put out a thing the day that it happened. It said Major League Baseball announced that the Brewers or that it will require Brewers pitcher Josh Hader to undergo sensitivity training and to participate in the league's diversity and inclusion initiatives.
Yeah, I want to know what all that is.
Right.
I really want to know what all that is.
That'll encompass everything.
If it's just basically another like slap on the wrist, and that's just not enough here. But I so badly want to fully believe Josh Hader, but I'm looking at the country that we're in right now, and I know it wasn't the same way when Hader was 17 and everything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at how things have evolved since then, and there's a pessimistic side of me that's just like, that part of Josh Hader is still in him. It's just dormant. It's just there. And I don't want to believe that, but there is that pessimistic side of me. However, I've been thinking about this pretty much since it happened, and I'm going to stay on the side of hope here. Although I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, like it happened, I'm just going to forget about it. Like, no. Right. Like when I saw the tweets, even I was just like, I was like, damn, I actually really like watching him pitch. Mm-hmm. I enjoy watching him, Like I said, I like to joke around and say I'm an adopted Brewers fan and everything. I kind of adopted that team, but it's like, I enjoy watching him pitch. Like, I was happy when he made the All-Star game and everything. So when I saw the tweets, I was just like, literally, the first words out my mouth were, "What the fuck?" When I saw it, honestly,
I was absolutely blown
away.
Yeah, I was like, "How bad can bad tweets be?"
Me too.
Really right, bad. And this is like the epitome of bad. And so I'm not going to sit here and say I forget. I'm going to forget these, obviously. When they're out there. The person who has the screen caps and everything, I'm still looking at the tweet to this day until it's taken down. Yeah. So, but I'm going to stay on the side of hope here, because I do believe that different experiences and journeys in life can easily alter and change someone's belief. As for the person who said the comment that he did to me, I don't think a damn thing happened in their life changed him. So whatever.
Right.
But however, I will say this, and this is the part that disturbs me. It truly, truly disturbs me. And you kind of mentioned it when you talk about how segregated Milwaukee is.
Mm-hmm.
For every person there that stood up and clapped and did it out of forgiveness and said, hey, I ain't forgetting what you did, but I will support you to get through it. Mm-hmm. For the record, I would have been one of those people, to be complete. And I'm pretty sure I've told you guys. I mean, hell, both of you guys were like, when the one incident happened to me at school this year. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like you two were like the two of the first people that like knew, apart from my boss and my parents and everything.
Right.
It made me very angry.
Yeah.
And so it's like I would have been one of the people to stand up and clap for him. I wouldn't have sat there and like, oh, like screw you, dude. But for every person that stood up and clapped for him, that forgave him, or is in the process of forgiving, was another 5, 10, 20, however many people that are standing up, like, that's my boy. That's how it's supposed to be said. That's how you say those things, like all that. And that's what disturbs me the most about this, is that for every person that at Miller Park that was clapping to support is in support of forgiving him, there are those legitimately supporting things that he said in those tweets. Right. And that's what disturbs me. And the part that none of us will ever know is who is who. That's the part that really just gets me about this entire thing. Like the whole tweets thing and the reaction to that, that part I can put aside. The part that really just disturbed me the most about this entire scenario, about the standing ovation, was who was clapping for him because they support him because of his apology, and who was clapping for him because they support him because of what he said in the tweets. That's the part that really disturbs me about this entire situation.
Absolutely.
I have a
Tom, real quick, and then we're gonna move on.
Just like before I found out how bad the tweets were, one of my thoughts was, can we leave people's past alone?
Yes.
Because a lot of people, especially in this past couple of years, have just been brought down hard because someone decided to go digging a little bit in social media past.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, does this really need to continue? Then I saw the tweets. Yes, it does need to continue.
Yes.
It needs to be brought to light. I don't think necessarily people need to lose their jobs and entire careers over it, but they definitely need to change their ways.
Yes.
Prove that they've changed in their ways. Do things to correct past mistakes. Become a better person. And just kind of integrate yourself back into society. It's just, can we just get people that do great things to stop being idiots in their past? That'd be amazing.
Right. Why can't everyone just be perfect?
I want perfection all the time.
All right. So we're going to move on to a lighter subject here. We're going to do our top 5 best players in the Eastern Conference of the NBA. Who wants to go first? So because of time restraints, we're already at hour 22 in here. Time restraints, we're going to just list the 5 in order and then give a brief description on why every player is there.
Mine's controversial. You guys go first.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I can start if you.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
I got to pull mine up again real quick. So, in order, top to bottom: Giannis, Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, Blake Griffin, Joel Embiid. Blake Griffin. He's in Detroit now. Yes, he is the 4th best player in the East. I think, real quickly, Giannis is the best because he's the centerpiece of his team. He has not been injury-prone, and he's been getting better every year, so I think he continues that pattern and gets better this year. Kawhi Leonard, just because of his pure talent, we'll see how good he is. I think if he comes back to full potential, he could pass Giannis as the number 1 guy. I think, honestly, before he got hurt, I think he was the number 2 guy in the league. I think it goes LeBron, Kawhi, then Kevin Durant. I'm not high on Kevin Durant, but anyway, So yeah,
Snakes.
I
I'm
think
afraid of snakes.
injuries are holding him back right now. That's why he's number 2. Same with Kyrie Irving. He has the potential to be the top player in the East. Injuries are holding him back. Also, his diva, along with Kawhi, his diva tendencies are also hindering him as a personality in the NBA. Also, the fact that his team went to the Eastern Conference Finals without him hurts him a little, but I think that's more to the team and to the coaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Time constraints. We won't get into it.
Yeah. Blake Griffin, just pure talent. He was the number 1 guy in LA. They said they were never, he was going to be Clipper for life, and then they shipped him out. I think he's a great fit for Detroit, for the team, the organization, and he's gotten a lot better too. He came out and was just a dunker, and then he developed a jump shot. He's gotten better. He's
threes occasionally.
Exactly. Yeah. He has elevated his game much like Giannis. But I think he's the 4th
Can
best.
I comment on that one?
Yes.
I don't disagree with you that he fits the whole plan of Detroit and everything, because they're always big men oriented.
Mm-hmm. And defense, physical. Yeah.
Yeah. He's been a star, but he's only ever really been a star role player to me. That's
I don't think he's the number 1 guy.
So I don't think, to me, he'd be in my top 5 ever. Maybe
That's
top
fair.
10. But
I think in the East right now, I can't. I contemplated putting John Wall,
so did I.
a couple other like Hassan Whiteside, but there's my number 5 is Joel Embiid because again injury prone, but he's very talented. Like dude's gonna be great if he can stay healthy. Otherwise, he might become another Larry Sanders. But yeah, that's my top 5.
Oh,
Connor, you want to go real quick?
Yeah, sure. I'll go from 1 to 5 actually too.
Yep.
I'm gonna go.
Okay, go.
I'm gonna go Giannis Antetokounmpo 1, Kyrie Irving 2, Kawhi Leonard 3, John Wall 4, Joel Embiid 5.
Ours were almost very similar.
Giannis because
His are very similar.
I mean, I think if I start to give my opinion, we've already heard the same one from everyone. So, I think it's becoming a foregone conclusion that Giannis is, as far as the guy to be, it's him in the East.
I agree.
Irving's number 2 for me because despite the injury and the recent diva tendencies, before the injury he was a killer. I mean, he played more games than Kawhi Leonard, and people tend to forget that game-winning shot over the Golden State Warriors when they won the NBA Finals, that was Kyrie Irving. We just always think the first thing we think of is blocked by James. That's the first thing that we always think of. So,
that was great.
But I mean, as far as who hit the shot, that was Uncle Drew. So I mean, as far as pure handles, and Kyrie's got it all, man.
As far
number 3,
real quick for Kyrie, I'm going to make the same argument that Tom made for Blake. I think he is a great guy, great fit, especially in Boston. I don't think he's a number 1 guy.
I disagree, but we'll get to that when I get back.
Okay, continue.
Number 3, Kawhi, because he would be number 2, but the jury's out for me on him with the quad injury and only playing limited games. I don't want to. The reason I was able to go on past performances from Kyrie is because it's been proven, and he played more games this recent season. So I know what he was capable of with that team. Okay. With Kawhi, despite him being a Finals MVP and everything, the jury is out with that quad and everything. Number 4 is John Wall because I think, especially in the Eastern Conference, he's criminally underrated, and it doesn't help that Washington can't really advance past the first round. So Wall was criminally underrated, and he was the guy. He was able to sustain being the guy until they drafted Kelly Oubre and Bradley Beal.
Right.
And number 5, Joel Embiid, despite him being probably my least favorite NBA player in the league, despite very strong opinions on him, it's undeniable the talent that he has. I just want him to stay healthy, I don't care what he does, but I mean, if he stays healthy, he can easily move up my list and everything. But it's undeniable his talent.
Dude's funny. Did you see his latest dunk? He's been going around playing pickup games with people.
You call it funny. I call it. You call it. I'm gonna say you call it funny. I call it. He just needs to sit the hell down somewhere and realize that he's done jack squat other than warming a bench because he's been injured.
No, I completely agree. But
play a full season before he trash talks and everything and tries to become a Twitter champion.
Watching him dunk on a pickup basketball player and then staring him, literally, he got 2 feet from this dude's face and just stared at his eyes for the next minute. It was one of the best stare downs I've ever seen. Like, walking back on defense, he just kept staring him in the face. It was one of my favorite things I've seen.
An all NBA center dunking on some random
exactly. I don't know.
schmuck at a YMCA.
It's just entertaining to me.
Like, the dude needs to grow up. Honestly, I cannot stand Joel Embiid with every fiber of my being. Tom.
All right. Wow. Okay, so before I start, Connor and I had 4 of the same, like people in our 5. Kyle and I had 3.
Okay.
It starts off a little similar. Giannis, number 1.
Cool.
Number 2, Kyrie Irving. I think we forget the era of the Cavs where LeBron wasn't with Kyrie, and Kyrie was putting up monster plays, handles, shots. Went to Boston before he got injured. Monster plays, handles, shots, points, assists, rebounds. This dude can do it all.
With LeBron, though. He's with LeBron.
That was without LeBron.
All
I said right now was without LeBron.
You said with LeBron. You said in Cleveland.
I said
no. He said prior to the LeBron.
Yeah, we forget about him prior to LeBron.
Gotcha. What was the Cavaliers' record?
Who cares?
It was bad. It was bad. It was much like the Lakers this year.
Didn't have Kevin Love.
Anyway, okay. I agree with you. The dude is completely talented. Best handles and best finisher in the league. I will give yes, 100%. He's one of my favorite players.
We'll come back to number 3.
Okay.
Number 4, I had John Wall. Just because he's been consistent.
I almost put him in.
Multiple seasons.
Yeah.
Great. He's got a song. Phenomenal. Kyrie Irving is getting a movie. Uncle Drew.
The only reason I didn't put John Wall in is because he's been in the league for so long, and it's becoming a guard league, and for some reason that backcourt hasn't been able to be as successful as Portland or Golden State. That's the only reason I think that has hindered his legacy. Okay.
5, I had Joel Embiid. And when it's not injuries, he still has rest days. And so, like, why do you need those rest days? Try and play, like, a full competitive season. Mm-hmm. Like, my D-Rose numbers here from 2008 to 2010, he played 81 games, 78 games, 81 games. Beast. All right?
Yeah.
Get up to those numbers, then start trash talking.
Yes.
Then start doing these pickup games.
Yes. Because
right now I'm seeing him. You tell me he's doing these pickup games, going around the country doing these pickup games. Why did you need so many rest days?
I think he's going to play more games this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, he's up there.
Yeah.
He's talented.
He better. You're right.
But if he keeps taking those rest days and everything like that,
yeah.
I think it's going to consistently hinder his career.
Absolutely.
Like, it might make it longer, but it's not going to make him as great as he could have been.
Right.
So, number 3. Very controversial.
I'm ready.
And I think it plays a lot off of number 2.
I have a guess.
And I think together, both healthy,
oh jeez,
oh god,
they'll be able to play off each other so well that Gordon Hayward is number 3.
He didn't play all season.
Didn't play all season.
I can't believe you just no.
I said it was controversial.
I would put Jason Tatum.
I was gonna say I knew you were gonna say Gordon Hayward, but then immediately I was like, no, Jason Tatum's way better than him. I would put Oladipo ahead of Gordon Hayward.
I almost did that.
I would put Bradley Beal.
Almost did.
I would put Bradley Beal ahead of him. I would put Hassan Whiteside above him.
I thought about that.
For the record, this is nothing against Gordon Hayward. It's just that he literally
absolutely. Gordon Hayward's fantastic. Yes.
That's
interesting.
I know he didn't play, but just seeing what the team was able to do without their 2 star players,
it makes me very scared as a Bucks fan to see them come back.
So they're going to come back.
Yep.
Kyrie's going to keep doing his stuff, but I don't think his numbers are going to be as high, and he's not going to have to work as hard because he's going to have Gordon Hayward there, and that young team has grown a little bit, experience. He can trust them more, and I hope he witnessed that and doesn't try to be a Kobe Bryant.
He will.
I love Kobe. Said that. But
Kyrie's out of Boston.
Hog the ball a bit.
Yeah.
Gordon and Kyrie together, though, and then Gordon with the rest of this team that's developed now, I feel like he can easily be a number 3. Prove me wrong. Like we said, he didn't play last season. We don't know for sure.
Right.
But I honestly feel like he can be an easy number 3.
Damn. All right. I like that. Controversial, but
Noticeably
like you
missing from my top 5.
Kawhi Leonard.
Kawhi Leonard.
I honestly didn't even notice.
I did.
That's kind of funny.
Because I don't think he's going to play. And if he does play, I think he's getting traded from Toronto.
Where to?
Wherever Toronto sends him.
There are reports that they're gonna try to talk to LA.
There's got to be a reason they were willing to get rid of DeMar DeRozan for a player that has 1 year that's going to leave in a
I
year.
think they're trying to rebuild at this point.
But why start with Kawhi? Without
he's
any
rental.
other reason
He's
of
rental.
trading him for picks.
Because he's a rental player.
Trading him for a younger player that's not as good, but you can develop.
They wanted to get rid of DeRozan's contract. I think that's the biggest thing.
I don't think Kawhi stays, and if he does stay, I don't think he plays the full season. I think he plays enough to look good.
He'll play at least 70 games.
He'll play enough to qualify for the All-Star game.
That.
All right.
And then I think he's just going to kind of drop off after that. I don't think he's going to perform that well. I think he's going to perform well enough to go where he wants to go.
LA.
And he's going to be distracted all season. I can promise you that.
I don't think so. All right. Fair points. I like them. Time to get to some segments real quick.
Also, John Wall has been averaging almost a double-double like every season.
That's fair. Yeah, so, I mean, so is Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook's terrible. Sorry. Hot takes. Segments. First segment we're going to do, hashtag mad about it. I have a couple. If you guys want to think about one each, I'm just going to do them real quick.
I have 2.
You can do 2. That's fine, Connor, if you want to think of a couple. I'm going to do them real quick. First of all, Tiger. I'm really mad that he didn't finish out. He went in today leading the Open, and then he choked. He tied for 6th. I think he was 3 under the lead. He was 5 under for the day, or for the tournament. I was really mad that he didn't win. My other mad about it was Tyler Saladino. He is not the answer at shortstop. I tweeted about this the other day. He does have a good bat. He's batting at .293 with 4 home runs. I will admit that. But he's bad defensively. Too many errors, way too many errors. He's not the answer. If anything, we need to move VR back to shortstop because Perez has been doing good at second, and VR needs a chance to play. And then my last one, the LeBron murals. Kobe fans need to suck it up because if you're a true Lakers fan, you need to be happy about this because LeBron is going to bring you at least one championship in these next 4 years. You need to be happy that you have the best player in the league, and you need to stop being so freaking salty that your favorite player's enemy is now on your team. Suck it up.
Comment on this. From a perspective that loved Kobe, I'm ecstatic to have LeBron.
Yeah.
Another comment on this. As far as a view on the Lakers, you have had almost every greatest player in the world on your team, sans Michael Jordan.
Right.
And, Bill Russell and stuff like that. But, enough that, why are you salty that this one is on your team?
Honestly, I don't get it.
It's ridiculous.
I don't get it.
I agree with you, but it's just as a Kobe fan, I don't hate it.
And the other part of this too is people are working hard. Talented artists in LA are working hard on these murals, and they're murals. If you don't like it, don't look at it.
Dude, the second the Giannis one gets defaced, if it does, that's going to be a huge issue.
I'm gonna track that person down. Yeah, those are my 3 things. Tom, what are you mad about?
Where's Zach LaVine's mural? Anyway, first thing I'm mad about, really the Toronto Raptors for getting rid of DeMar DeRozan. He was dedicated. He wanted to play there. He was an all-star, great player.
3 years left on his contract.
It's just, I don't know. I guess I wouldn't have been as mad if you were honest with him and said, we're looking to move you, instead of, we're not going to move you and then move you.
They have said in the past year or two that they've been talking to teams about trades, but they were never close on anything. But
I actually have 3.
Okay.
3, the hater situation.
Right.
Mad about it. Mad that it came out. Mad that it happened. It's just move on kind of thing. Actually become a better person. And, I pray to God that Connor's pessimistic views aren't true.
Right.
I don't say pessimistic poorly, Connor. I just...
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You have an
I know
optimistic and a
exactly what you
pessimistic
mean.
view.
Yeah.
And then 3, I'm not going to say the company, but working concessions at Brewer stands. We show up yesterday. They tell us not to use the sinks because the water is temporary. It looks good for health inspectors.
Yikes.
Mad about it. And then we ran out of food, and warehouse hung up on us twice and didn't bring us food until the game was almost over.
Hashtag mad about it. Connor, what are you mad about?
Idiotic Laker fans. Or okay, let me scratch that. Let me bring that back. Idiotic Kobe fans.
Kobe fans, yes.
Let me. I was gonna say, let me bring that back.
Can I?
Because I hope they realize that. Say what?
Can I bring that back? Idiotic Kobe diehards.
Yeah.
Yes, there we go. Because I hope they realize that this doesn't bother LeBron. He's still gonna play. He's still gonna bring you their championship, and he's still raking in money. That just disrespects the artist.
Exactly.
They go through that much work.
And the city, yeah. And
the
team brought him in, yeah.
I'm gonna say that they go through so much work to make that mural. Like, honestly, if you're that anti, don't watch a Laker game. Don't even try to. I don't want them to watch a damn Laker game for the rest of the season if that's how they're going to be before the season.
They are not allowed to buy jerseys.
Or
nope.
Them.
Yeah. I am also mad about Joel Embiid acting like a gym class hero. I'm so damn tired of him. Like, it's reaching a point now where if he gets hurt, I'm just going to laugh. I was like, you did all that. You trying to be the king of extra, and you go ahead and get hurt. So it's reached that point. I'm not wishing ill will on him, but if he does get hurt, I'm laughing so hard at the notification. That's what you get.
Extra. Embiid's all about it.
Like, honestly. And what I'm also mad about, and this has something to do with sports, but it's not. Okay, so I hate to put my poor friend on blast here. From last night. But tell me what.
Name drop.
I'm not name dropping him. Because I honestly doubt he's gonna listen. But if he does, I want him to realize, because I still kill him for this. Tell me why I am DDing last night.
Oh God.
Or
you can end it there, honestly.
Or no. I guess, okay, so when the podcast goes live, I was DDing Saturday night, and we're leaving, and there's these two girls in Cubs jerseys. See? Sports related. Cubs jerseys. And I'm trying to leave. I'm trying to go home.
Yeah.
It's not that I was having a bad time or anything. I'm just like, all right, man. Like, let's bounce. Tell me why.
Tell me why
his quote-unquote cheesy pickup line, as he called it, was two said girls that were in Cubs jerseys. You want to know what he asked them?
Oh, no.
How much does a polar bear weigh?
Enough to break the ice. Hi, my name's Kyle.
You want to know what he asked them?
Was it something about balls?
Was it about Bears or Cubs at all?
No. He asked them if they were Cubs fans. He asked the two girls in Cubs jerseys.
It's not really a pickup line. That's just a question.
Smooth.
Smooth like Uncle Stone.
Would have been better off asking how much a polar bear weighs.
And then he was just like, I tried to give him the cheesy pickup. I was like, bro, that's stating the obvious.
That's a rhetorical question that doesn't really lead to responses. Hey, you Cubs fans? Here's my number.
I'm sorry.
No, that didn't work. What?
Wow.
I'm sorry, Joe. I had to do it to you, but
he name dropped. Yeah.
I'm so sorry I had to do this to you, but God damn, man, you got to be better.
Oh my goodness. All right.
I love you, but at that moment I hated your ass. It's not even that it embarrassed me. I was just like, you're making yourself like an idiot. I'm the one driving you, so this is fine.
Oh man. All right. I was gonna do winners and losers.
I have one more mad about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm mad about Drake ruining every girl's life that's named Kiki.
Kiki, do you love me? I still the only reason I actually kind of like that song is because Will Smith put out a video of him dancing on top of a bridge to that song, and it was amazing.
Yeah, cancel the In My Feelings challenge. Will Smith won it.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I was gonna do winners and losers, but because we've talked for so freaking long, I'm gonna save my winners and losers for Wednesday's show. So that brings us to one last thing. Tom, you got one last thing for us?
I said it at the beginning of the show. I'll say it at the end of the show. And I'll say it until he tweets me to stop. Kawhi Leonard is a piece of shit. He needs to get his act together. That said, he's a pretty good defensive player, and I respect that. So.
Let's see. Minute 43. Okay, I'm gonna tweet Kawhi. Minute 43 or hour 43 of the podcast at Kawhi Leonard. We're gonna. Don't worry.
Spoiled brat.
Oh my goodness. Connor, one last thing.
My one last thing is I would like to go back to my comments about the Josh Hader thing. And I just want to specify, if anyone's thinking that I'm just doing this to play the race card, I'm not. I am not. You can ask you can ask anyone. You can ask Kyle. You can ask Tom. You can ask anyone. Like, I am the last person to play the race card on anything in life. Like, any opinion and every thought that I give about that has something to do with my race or my ethnicity, it's not just a knee-jerk reaction. They are all fully thought out. They are processed, and I sit there and I think about it, and I make sure that it's an educated, and it's rooted somewhere. So I wasn't saying that because I was like, oh yeah, he's a racist. I think everyone's a racist. Like, I think every white guy's a racist. Like, hell no. I went to, like, most of my friends are white. So if anyone's listening to this and thinking I just pull the race card and everything like that, I am not.
And they're
strictly
racist.
Like, I am just probably. I am just strictly going by what I know I've seen, what I know I've gone through, and I'm just the slight pessimistic views that I have because I see how people act and how they want to be in this country nowadays. That's it. Not playing the race card, not accusing anyone of being a full-fledged racist 24/7, 365.
I have an actual one last thing now.
Yeah.
I said it incorrectly at the beginning of the show, but it's nice to be on the show and talk about something more than just sports entertainment.
Okay.
Said it correctly.
I've yet to be on a show where we talk about that. So.
Oh my God, Connor, we need to.
SummerSlam.
Connor, we'll do a wrestling show soon. Because I've been wanting to do some wrestling stuff. When we got to do the 2K rating episode like ASAP though. Oh my God, yes.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, be on the lookout for our Twitters. We're gonna be doing a 2K/Matting real life ratings. It's gonna be fun.
One last thing now that you said that. Follow Twitter.
So 3 last things. For Tom.
Yeah. Because if I had 3 words to describe myself, it would be bad at following directions. So 4 words, people. All right. So,
wow.
If you want to follow for bops only, bops of the week, it's at Tom Fuerst 0 for the O on Twitter.
Link will be in the description.
This week's was Denzel Curry's.
Do you tweet bops only?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's why I said follow me on Twitter.
Sneak peek for the future. I was thinking about doing a segment like every Friday or something, doing bops only.
Just look at my Twitter, dude.
I love it. Well, because then I can throw yours in every week too.
Next week's hint is BH, and then there's gonna be a bonus one for a hometown bro.
I know the BH, and I probably know what song it is. Anyway, my one last thing: the Brewers currently their best pitcher on their roster is one Hernan Perez.
Hernan!
If anyone saw the game today, Hernan Perez, because the Brewers were losing 11-2, Hernan Perez, who is normally an infielder, utility player, he went in and pitched 2 scoreless innings. Hernan Perez has now pitched in 3 games in his career, and he is scoreless. He's never allowed a run. He's only walked 2 people, and he got his first strikeout tonight.
How fast is he pitching?
Cy Young confirmed.
Cy Young.
Average 78.
Like fastball is 78?
Yeah.
And he's striking people
Give
out?
it to him right now.
He struck it. Okay, no, for real quick. There was one, he was like, his throws are like batting practice. Like, he lobs them in there. Like, they're all curveballs. But on an 0-2 count, he threw it was like a 70 or an 87 mile an hour pitch, and everyone was like freaking out. Everyone was like, 87. I was like, that's most people's changeup. Like, what the hell? But it actually caught the bat. I don't remember who it was. Like Chase Utley or someone. It caught them off guard. Like, they almost swung at it.
It was like a reverse changeup.
Yeah, it was his fastball. It was super funny. But then he hit. I think it was Kike Hernandez. He hit him.
He hit No, it was Austin Barnes. I'm looking at it right now. It was 48 miles per hour.
How fast?
48.
Was it intentional?
It's on record as the slowest hit by pitch in MLB history.
I mean, I guess I'd take the bet.
Because literally, you could see it. Like, the dude kind of like tries to avoid it a little, but it literally and then hits him in the back. It's so go look at it. It's super funny. It's on Bleacher
I
Report.
guess I'd take the bag too.
But honestly, Hernan Perez, he's the utility player of all utility. The only player or the only position that he has not played in his career is catcher.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
I agree. Make it happen. All right.
The secret weapon.
Connor, go ahead and take us out. Oh, real quick. Thank you, Tom, for coming on. A pleasure as always.
Thank you. I always love being on, so if you ever need someone, let me know. I'll bring more notes. Literally took an hour and a half worth of notes today.
That's
Dear
awesome.
God.
Connor, go ahead and take us out.
And with that said, one, it was awesome being on. It was also awesome for me to actually be on the show with all three of us on the show.
Yes, absolutely.
Actually, for this episode, so that was fun. That was kind of a long time coming.
Yes,
honestly, on this podcast.
Next stop, bars. Am I right?
All right. As far as where to follow us, Tom gave you guys his Twitter. Mine, if you guys want to give me a follow, I am at ConnorMoore_7. I believe it is all lowercase _ the number 7.
Like I said, they'll be in the description.
Right, all will be in the description. And again, make sure to also follow us at FRKO Podcast on Twitter. We have an Instagram account as well. Make sure you look this up. If you still want to marvel at the amazing graphics that we have, I still can't get over that my face is on John Jones. So there's
John Bones Jones.
So there's that. And
stay away from the PEDs.
Yeah, I'll try. And as Kyle mentioned, be on the lookout for all of our respective social media handles, podcast and our own handles, because we are going to ask you guys what you guys think our ratings would be if every mundane task in life was rated by a video game.
It's
so keep that in mind.
Every month. Okay. I want to make sure I'm understanding that. So, like, washing the dishes, rated E for everyone?
Yes.
No. Like cooking. Like, what would be your Madden rating in cooking or your driving rating?
Oh,
yeah.
Yep. Driving's clearly a 99.
Yeah, we're gonna do that at some point. It'll be fun. Be on the lookout.
But until then, thank you all for listening. I hope you guys enjoy the show. Be on the lookout for the next episode on Wednesday, where we shock the system as always since day 1-ish.
Begging, please don't make me feel this again. Things are getting eerie like the lake that's down in Michigan. Had a good year, kinda tired. Where the Michelin at the finish line. Go get the checkered flag. Take a couple more shots. That's extended mag. I don't mean to brag. You smell the scented bag. I pull up solo at the function. I'm a tennis stag, stone cold bachelor, acid rapping chancellor. Couple years an amateur, but never had a chance where you see me as a challenge to man.